So the numbers are in, and Lil Tecca's debut album, Virgo Word, sold 35,000 first week, which is very, very disappointing. Especially to me, because I'm a big fan of Tecca. I loved his last project, We Love You Tecca, and I actually thought this album was pretty good too. I enjoyed most of it, if not all. So I went on a little digging to see if this can actually be considered a flop, or if it's more just a circumstantial disappointment. The first thing I thought about is obviously the situation that we are in. I'm talking about the COVID-19 or Corona pandemic. And you could say that that definitely affected sales. Drake only sold 250,000 when he dropped a couple months ago, which is horrible, especially for him, who is probably the biggest artist out right now. But you have to realize that he had no promotion and mostly dropped leaks or songs that were already out. So it's not that relevant, especially when you look at both Uzi and The Weeknd, who did 300 and 400,000 first week, and Taylor Swift just a couple weeks ago did 800,000 first week. It's not the pandemic. Even if we were in a normal situation, this album would not have sold that well. The second thing I thought about was a hit song. So obviously last year he had Ransom, which charted at number 4 on the Billboard. It was a massive song. The problem is, I don't think a hit song can really sell an album. And the reason for that is Post Malone. When Post Malone came out, he had White Iverson, which undoubtedly is a hit song. Not long after that song, he came out with Stoney, which was his first album. That album, by the way, had Congratulations, which soon after the release of the album became a pretty big hit, and also had I Fall Apart, which became a hit just a couple years ago. So he already had a hit song, and he dropped an album that had more hit songs. And you know how much he sold? He sold 16,000 first week, which is horrible. So a hit, while obviously a factor in how much an album sells, it cannot sell an album alone. Tecca's last project, We Love You Tecca, it sold 65,000 first week. I think the reason that project did so well, especially compared to Virgo Word, was because Tecca was new. He had the very new and unique look of a skinny nerd with the glasses and his eyes going both ways. It was something that people didn't see at the time. And the Ransom video really played this up, to the point where he had the girls around him and he didn't even look at them, and at the end there was a black screen with a text saying the girls offered Tecca a happy ending massage, but he declined. So I think the success of his last project was more of a combination of a very unique image with a hit song. And I think the reason that didn't work this time is obviously it didn't have the hit song, but also the nerd image, the nerd look was already out, A year ago he had already showed that. That's not new anymore, people are used to that now. I think what was the final nail in the coffin for this album was the hit song. Not that it didn't have one leading up to it, but the song on the album that was meant to be the hit. Very obviously, with the Lyrical Lemonade music video, with the big feature, was Dolly, featuring Uzi. But that song, instead of blowing up and becoming massive and blowing up the album with itself, it became Tecca's most hated song probably ever. The reason being is that that was an Uzi song from years ago that was leaked. But Tecca somehow got it. I don't know if Uzi gave it to him or if he bought it somewhere, and he decided to remake it. Which means he basically threw out everything except for the beat and made his own hook and verses, and also gave Uzi a spot, which he filled with a new verse. So Uzi fans, who were already so used to and very much loved the original Dolly, were super mad at Tecca. You could see it on Twitter, on Instagram, everywhere, that they were saying that Tecca ruined Dolly. Now, I don't necessarily think that that's true. I think Dolly is good as it is. But obviously, if you have been listening to a version for a very long time, you are not gonna like a totally different one. So with the combination of all these things, is Tecca's album Virgo Word a flop? Well, to be honest, as much as it hurts to say, I think at this point, it definitely seems like it. Thank you for watching.